there anything you'd like to say about Mike Ilitch and his passing?
Well, I mean, great man. Love of his family, love of the city of Detroit, love of his sports franchises. He made you want to be a better man. He was committed to doing things right, and what he touched in business turned to gold. But he had that presence about him that he made you want to be better. And he looked after all of us, gave us all the resources to have all the success you could ever ask for, but had an appreciation of hard work and stick-to-itiveness and getting things done. And my kid played for Little Caesars, and he was a huge influence in the community that way. Moved his offices downtown, rebuilt Fox Theater, obviously the Tiger Stadium, now this new arena downtown. You need someone who loves the city, loves the state, and loves being there to do that, and he was a leader in that for sure. But to me, it still comes back to his love of family and the city of Detroit and his sports franchises.
Coach, when you were relatively early in your NHL career and you got to Detroit, what did it mean to you and your development as a coach to work in an atmosphere like the one that Mr. Ilitch provided?
Well, I mean, I got a real good start from Brian Murray in Anaheim and built a relationship from coaching in the minors in Cincinnati with the Red Wings and Anaheim. So I worked for both franchises, so I had a good relationship with Ken Holland and Jim Null. And then when you come there, obviously, there's an expectation of success. Some people, you all work for someone, some people make you come in earlier. They don't say nothing. They just show up every day and they grind, and they make you grind. And that, to me, was what he was. Ken Holland, obviously, his general manager and the closest to him. They set a standard for all the people that work there that made you want to please them and made you disappointed in yourself, not mad at them, disappointed in yourself when you didn't live up to what you should do. And, I know Mr. Ilitch will be looking down on us all today, and his son Chris will take over, obviously, and he's a great man too, and has all the moral fiber of his father, and great things will continue to happen in Detroit because of the Ilitch family.
Can you comment tonight's game on the speed, skill, size of the challenge, especially those two lines that Buffalo brought you tonight?
Yeah, I mean, obviously real good and dangerous on the power play. You got to be disciplined. They can light you up there for sure. The other thing about it is when you look at, I don't know much about the West. When you look at the East, there's nothing to separate the teams, and from a skill set, from a point set. So each and every night you got to be ready to play and ready to start on time and do things right, and that'll be no different here tonight.
Mike Austin's got a shot, at least one shot in every game. He's the only guy in the NHL to do that for his team. What is it about his game that you've seen this year that's allowed him to be consistent in that way?
Well, he works, he competes, he wants to be good, he wants to be the best, and then he's got two guys that are like a dog on a bone playing with him. They get them the puck all the time. So, they have the puck a lot, those guys. They work hard to play with pace, and he likes shooting it, and he gets open to shoot it. So, he's a player that gets better each and every week. Sometimes it doesn't show in the numbers, but it definitely shows in his effort and his commitment to doing things right. And, he's a good hockey player.
You had Willie on Austin's right side for part of the last game, and obviously throughout the year. What are you thinking when you do that? What goes?
Well, I was thinking more of I thought the matchup for Naz and Leo and Willie was going to be really hard. I thought Brown might be able to help him. I didn't like either line when I did that, and so I moved him back. I think Willie's been real good with those guys, and Leo and him talk a different language. I don't know what they're talking about, but I know Leo's probably on him like a rash to do things right, and I don't think that hurts Willie one bit. So, Willie's come a million miles this year just in his compete level and his willingness to play without the puck and get the puck back. And when there's tons of space, he always has a skill set, but you got to learn to play without space, and he's doing a good job of that.
When you game plan against the Sabres, does it start with the two centers?
O'Reilly's going to take all the face-offs, and he's dominant in that way, so it starts with how we're going to get the puck back. And, and then obviously Eichel's, you got an elite skill set, but they got lots of players. It's not like they don't have players. They have real players, and their goalie's 5-on-5 save percentage is at the top of the league, and so we got to concern ourselves with that too. There's a number of things that do, when there's people talk about you real positive if you have 6 more points, and if you're on the other side of that, they don't talk about you as good, but there's hardly anything between you. So, there's a fine line here, and we just got to keep treading water on the right side of that line.
500th game tonight for James Van Riemsdyk. He's on pace to have one of the best seasons of his career. What do you see in his preparation that's allowing him to do that this season?
Well, I think the preparation is great, but I think just flat out when the game starts, your commitment to work and skate, he's got to skate, he's got to win battles to be good every night, and I think he's done a better job of that. So to me, the more physical he is, the more he's at the net, the more he skates, the better chance he has to dominate the game on a nightly basis. And, you know, he scores from in tight, so we got to get in tight.
Any update on Shawshank?
I skated here today. I think the coach has put him through the paces, so we'll see when he's ready.
Canadian Women's League has their All-Star game here today. Can you talk about how important it is that league thrives so it helps the country as a whole to develop that aspect of the game?
You know, I mean, obviously it's huge, and I know they got one going in the U.S. too. It's important they have an opportunity to play and continue to grow the game. I know my daughter played for a long time. A lot of her friends are at college and doing well and loving it. So I just think it's important that we have opportunities for everybody, and obviously this is a prime example, but I know the Canadian women's program, the U.S. women's program are very dominant on the world stage, and that's because they got places to play.